right, here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Carol's Corner MMA podcast. Tonight I am joined by Cody Bollinger, who will be talking about his career as an MMA fighter as well as taking part in a new TV show, or a TV show that's been on for a few seasons, by his new role in that TV show. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my sponsor for this podcast, PureSpectrumCBD.com. Use CCMMA and get 10% on all of your merchandise you purchase off the website. Cody, welcome for joining.
Yes, hey, brother. Thanks for having me, man.
Pleasure. Cody, let's get into how you got into the acting, the stunt double side of things in the film industry.
Honestly, man, it just it kind of happened by chance. I got super blessed, and it was just right timing. I was fighting for WSOF at the time, and there was this show called Kingdom being produced, and it was only on DirecTV. But they were going around to local gyms in Southern California looking for, background guys that, would look the part and, actually know what they're doing on the bag and not just look like dummies in the back. They wanted to, try and be an authentic show. Mm-hmm. And then they just were like, hey, man, you happen to look really like, one of the actors we have, and he's one of the main guys, and he's going to be, one of the main fighters. Would you want to try stunt doubling? And I'm like, yeah, let's try it out. I had no idea what I was getting paid. I thought this was like, the same background pay. I'd get $100, $200 for the day, and just get to mess around a little more and get my face on camera or something. But it turned into, man, I joined the SAG after union. I spent 3 seasons with them, thankfully, and did, a lot of stunt double work for that guy. I did a couple, random parts too for other guys. And it just kind of evolved from there, man. I wouldn't say I'm like a full-time stunt guy or anything, but I've been blessed to stay decently busy with it, and it kind of led to some other smaller shows, a couple little things on CBS. And then, I had heard about 13 Reasons Why from the first season. Somebody had reached out to me and said, his name's Keith Campbell, actually. He's like the stunt coordinator of the first show I did. And he's like, hey, man, we might have this part of a bad guy, and, he's going to be in the boxing ring and get in a fight. Would you want to do it? I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And, it just kind of never came to fruition. And then 3 years later, season 4, he's like, hey, you still want to do it? And I'm like, fuck yeah, man. I went in my bathroom, did a couple little audition tapes and sent them in and got the part, thankfully. So I got to play a little side role. And, just it worked out good. And I'm hoping it keeps going.
That's awesome. Now, what was going through your mind when they first asked you want to be the stunt double? Were you trying to think of, like, what kind of stunts could I possibly be doing for this movie? Am I jumping off things? Because when you see movies and action films and shows, and there's all sorts of crazy stunts going on, and you hear about the crazy aspect to it from behind the scenes and everything. It's always kind of curious to hear, like, what's going through your mind when you wanted to be a stunt double for this?
Yeah, honestly, so like like I said, the first show was like an MMA show, so I just had to fake fight, man, and I was already doing it full time, and it was just it worked out perfect. I didn't actually have to get hit. I got slammed a couple times, and took a couple falls and stuff, but nothing too crazy. And it was something that I was able to fake really well. Like, everybody had thought I was a stunt man over being a fighter, just because I had that knowledge and that kind of flow and rhythm that I could put into it and make it look good. And that evolved I've done a couple like fence hops and decently, getting thrown on the cement and stuff, but nothing too crazy, thankfully, man. And, I kind of learned too, even though I haven't done much in the stunt world, I've been blessed to be around a lot of, I think OGs, the guy, Keith Campbell, I mentioned, has been Tom Cruise's stunt double since, he started acting. And
that's
I
awesome.
got to work with Ben Stiller's stunt double for, the last 10 years. And I've met some really, big guys in the game and learned a lot, thankfully. And they kind of just, you don't have to do all the crazy shit. You stick to your niche and you'll get known for it, and people will call you for those kinds of roles. So I feel like playing the asshole or the fighter is kind of my calling for some reason, man. So because they keep offering me these parts, so I'm gonna play it while I can.
There you go. And you were on Tough 18, The Ultimate Fighter. You on Tough 18 before you've done any stunt acting?
Yeah, I was on Tough 18, and then I signed with WSOF, and after I believe my first fight with them, this kind of came around, so it worked out good. I fought once every 3 months and stunt doubled in between.
Now, being on Tough 18 and then being on these TV shows as stunt double, did it make you a little easier in front of the camera?
Yeah, I think so, man. Because that's one thing I did notice. Like a lot of the background people, everybody gets told they have to stop 10 times and tell everybody, hey, stop looking at the fucking camera, guys. And Tough, they break you of that the first day because there's cameras on you 24/7. There's cameras when there aren't cameras, and when there aren't cameras that aren't cameras, there's microphones, and you're just under constant surveillance, and you kind of learn quick to tune it out. So it was definitely a nice little advantage, and but there's still things like the way you have to throw certain punches, like you have to miss, but I mean, depending on the angle of the camera, and it's just all kinds of crazy random shit that you wouldn't really, think about has to go into it to make it look as real as possible without actually, hitting the actor and getting fucking kicked off the show.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you knock out the lead. That's not good.
Yeah, man. You never know.
So, how much of the stunt doubling and the actor, how much do you guys work together to kind of put something together? Because if you're doing something that he feels like he can't do, is he like, I don't want to do that? Or he's like, I want to see you do this because I want to look like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly what it is, more or less, man. We're there to make the actors and actresses look good, So like with the first show, I basically did stunt doubling. So even though 13 Reasons Why, I was brought on as a stuntman, it was like a co-star role. So I got to like play my own person and everything. So that there was a little more into that, playing my own character. I didn't have a double. I kind of was myself. Like the stunt doubling wise, I would just kind of work the choreography with whoever the opponent was and that opponent's stunt double. And then once we had it down, because we had to make up all our fights, we make them from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
The directors say, we want a 3-round fight and we want it to be a fucking war, and we want this guy to get dropped and we want this guy to win. And, you just kind of have to fill in the blanks and make up this crazy fight scene that they've pictured in their heads when they know nothing about fighting, So it's a fun game you play, man. It really lets you be creative, honestly. I feel like when I fought, I did some creative stuff and just kind of had fun out there. And this is just a lighter continuation of it, and it's a blast, honestly. But like on 13 Reasons Why, I got there the first day. I mean, it's a cool story for this, actually. I got there the first day, man, and it was just supposed to be a 4-day contract, which is, a regular week contract. So we spend the first 2 days doing the choreography and getting it down and making up the fight. We got it pre-filmed and pre-approved by the producers and everything, and got it approved by, the actor, and, he was on board and everything looked good. He came in the third day, bro, and got it down in like 2 fucking hours.
Wow.
It was insane. I mean, the guy was a natural. So like, every now and then you get lucky and you meet these people and they're not just actors, they really know some shit, or they've got the basics down at least to where it's fucking perfect. It's easy to work with them, easy to get a flow. So this guy showed up, Christian Navarro. He plays Tony Padilla on 13 Reasons Why. He showed up, man, got it done in 2 hours. So like, we're fucking pumped. I'm like, dude, this is the easiest, contract I've had. This is going to be smooth. It's a quick 2-round boxing fight, and I got to take one big hit and fall, and it's, it's done. Well, the day of filming, man, is the next day, and this guy gets in a fucking accident on the way to the scene, man. Poor dude, like he wrecks into, it was a pretty gnarly wreck. So he wrecks, and we get sent home because he can't film that day. I get called back 2 days later because this guy's, a fucking badass, says he's ready to film and do it. So we go back out for another couple days, which thankfully was another contract for me. So I ended up getting 2 weeks out of this, little 2-round fight, and it was good, man. But it was perfect because he knew what he was doing. We were able to flow and just kind of knock it out, man. It was a great day.
That's crazy. It almost sounds though like it's like you have to make up your own WWF scene. Like they know what they want, but you got to take MMA and turn it into WWE or F, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's pretty much what it is. We got to make it look as real as possible without, being the pauses. And, it took a couple takes for sure, but I've had other times where, I was there all fucking day because of one scene, and it gets rough. So I was really thankful for this guy.
Now, what's next in the stunt double career? Are you looking to be more involved and take on more roles? Is that something you actively looking for and send tapes in? Or is it kind of word of mouth, people talking, you just meet people and hop on from there?
It's a little bit of both, man. Honestly, so with 13 Reasons Why coming out, it was #1 for like 2 weeks on Netflix. So, that's a really good thing to have on my resume, I feel like. Mm-hmm. And the show Kingdom that I mentioned earlier, I did 3 seasons with them, and they just announced like a week ago, bro, that they're coming to Netflix too. So,
oh wow,
as long as that's in the top 10, man, that'll be a nice little back-to-back in the last, all within the same month. I'll have 2 shows in the top 10, hopefully, and that'll kind of really help my resume. I'll get to use all the clips off Netflix and put a decent little highlight reel together and start sending it out,
That's pretty badass.
Hopefully it can turn into a more full-time thing, man, because it's fun and it pays well, and it's union and there's a retirement and all that, so it's definitely something I'd like to pursue.
Very cool. Good for you. I'm hoping that works out. It's cool to see the MMA guys getting into it.
Oh yeah, man. There's what's his name? Jay Heron. I don't know if is it Heron or Heron. I always fuck his last name up. But that guy spent his life doing stunt work, man. Ever since I think before he retired from fighting, that's all he does, and you still see him in movies today. There's a lot of random like Oleg Tektorov from fucking Pride back in the day. That guy's in like Bad Boys and all these other random movies. It's a nice career change for fighters, if they can get the end.
Absolutely. And you live out in California in that area, right?
Yeah, man. I'm like 45 minutes from LA, so I can shoot down whenever. It works nice,
That must make life a lot easier than having to fly in or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. I had to fly for 13 Reasons Why, but it was in San Francisco, so it was perfect, man. It was nice. I just played at the casino when I wasn't on work, and when I was making up big fights. So it's a nice little gig, man.
That's awesome. Now you're retired from MMA. How has it been since you retired from MMA?
It's been good, man. I miss it. I'm not gonna lie. I see guys that I've fought and competed well with or even beat, and they're still active and doing well, and it's fun to watch still, and I try not to get too into it, man, because I'll start fucking training again, but I'm enjoying life without it. I like being dad a lot more, and just being able to be home and eat what I want and be normal, and just it's a nice more, I did it for 10 years, man. I had a good career in my opinion. I was happy, and I do stunt work, and I'm a union local 12 operating engineer. So I'm enjoying life, man. It's a nice gig.
Yeah, so it sounds like you keep busy right now still.
Yeah, I have to stay busy. That's for sure, man. Whether I'm fighting or not, I got to be doing something. I'm an adrenaline junkie, dude.
Absolutely. I think it's a great way though to be involved in MMA almost through acting and stunt doubling, because like you said, it gives another option for fighters where I forget what fighter it was. I think Tim Sylvia, where he's asking for donations because he's got a rod coming out of his arm and he can't afford the operation, and the UFC won't pay for it. And I see so many fighters that they have nothing to do or don't know what to do after their career's over. So it's awesome to see that you transitioned into a career.
No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Hey, like I said, it was luck, timing, and just God's grace. Honestly, man, I didn't go looking for it, but you're right though. Like, especially a guy like Tim Sylvia. He's 6 foot, fucking whatever. He's already meant to be on TV, and the name he had, he could have really. did he do some? I think he might have even done something, right?
He
Or
might have
no?
done like one of those like MMA movies or shows.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, who knows, man? Maybe there's more behind it than I know.
Yeah, I just saw the post where he was asking for donations and stuff, where people were asking for him, and I was just, it kind of hurts to see when you see athletes like that, where, like I know there wasn't big money in MMA, especially back in the day when he first got started, and still
Yeah.
really isn't, but
Yeah, relatively, right?
well, thinking about that, like, what do you think they could do besides obviously the obvious, just pay the fighters more? But what can they do to increase the revenue for fighters?
I mean, it just depends, man. You, it's hard to say, because no matter what kind of you'd have to take like all the top guys and have them sit out, like
Almost
all
like a
these little
strike.
guys, even not even little guys, like mid guys like Jorge Masvidal. He's fucking replaceable, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's 10 other guys that'll talk the same fucking shit as him and fight just as good, that'll fight for half the fucking money. And that's the issue, you've got these guys that just want to say they fight in the UFC. They'll fight for 10 grand and 10 grand, and it's no difference to anybody. The UFC can hype train anybody they fucking want,
Yeah, absolutely.
So it would take a lot of top name guys, I feel like, to kind of sit down and take a stand. Or I mean, I believe boxing has like a law or a union rule, right, to where you can only make a certain percentage compared to promoters, or I mean, promoters can only make a certain amount compared to fighters, or some shit like that for boxing.
Something like that. I'm not sure the exact
Yeah, I mean,
numbers.
that would be great, but I mean, good luck. I don't see that ever happening, unfortunately. Maybe a monthly stipend, all these big, if you're like Bellator, ONE FC, UFC, give them a monthly fucking payment for being on the roster, $5,000 a month or something. You expect these guys to put their fucking lives on the line and show up and be the very best out of these millions of other fighters. They've got what, 500 to 1,000 guys on their roster. That's
Something like
I
that.
feel
Yeah.
like, yeah, I feel like, out of all these people that want to be fighters, I mean, there's millions. If you're good enough to be on that roster, fucking take care of them,
I agree 100%. And I know so many people who, like, I got a friend who, he's in the UFC, O'Day Osborne, and everyone's like, oh, he made it to the top. He did. That's all. I love the fact that he's in the UFC now, but unfortunately, he's not getting paid like he should be.
Oh, fuck no.
A lot of these
Yeah,
guys
of course not.
on the outside think that the UFC guys, you guys get paid a ridiculous amount of money, millions of dollars, and I'm like, there's one or two guys who ever really made millions from a fight. So
Yeah, exactly.
I think a union, which I don't know, I think the UFC might have something in place to avoid a union, but
Oh, I bet they do, man. The UFC is fucking, yeah, they're untouchable, bro.
but it's nuts. Like, were you like on the TV show? If you don't mind me asking, were you guys paid for being on the show itself?
Yeah. We I don't remember the exact amount, man, but it was like $500 or something a week, maybe 1,000 even. A week. They paid for all our food, everything we needed, so
I
they
hope
did
so. They
pay us.
didn't let you
And then,
leave, right?
yeah, no shit. Um, they gave us like a little bonus at the end. I'm sure, obviously I didn't make it the whole way, so I'm sure the people got more. And they being on the show, they took care of you. The contracts are shitty, but for winning the show, but they definitely, the opportunity was amazing. I won't dog the opportunity I had. What they showed on the show was kind of shitty. They didn't show the whole truth and everything, and I could go on about that, but it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, they're trying to make a TV show. They take what they
Yeah,
want, edit it, and
exactly.
show you the context of what they want to show you.
Yeah.
So, so is there anything, any season or any acting gigs that you're working on right now that you're still, is Kingdom still going for you, or is that season over?
That's done, man. But with it coming to Netflix, bro, I think what they're gonna do is, if it gets like good reception and people really like it, because it was popular on DirecTV, and I mean, I'm still getting residual checks from it for fucking iTunes and stuff, man. So I feel like people were fans of it. It's got some, named actors in there like Frank Grillo, Nick Jonas, Matt Laria, who else? Jonathan Tucker's been getting some bigger roles. So I think if it can pick up some traction, some heat, bro, they definitely left room for another season. So that'd be fucking awesome. I wrote the producer of it, and if I hear anything back, I'll let you guys know. That'd be amazing.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm gonna have to check it out because I sourced a few people talking about it, and then I saw you post it, and I was like, oh, I got to speak to him about this and check it out, find out more about Kingdom because I haven't heard of it till recently, and because most people don't have iTunes or ITV or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like college. I feel like college and high school kids.
Yeah, they got the time to binge watch everything.
Fuck, I sound old. Yeah.
I'm in the same boat.
I've actually never really watched the show, honestly, man, because I didn't have DirecTV at the time. So I'm gonna check it out for the first time and see if it's any good in my opinion.
That's funny. So have you watched Y30? What is it?
No. I mean, honestly, man, I skipped to the episode I was on. I watched my fight, and that was it, man. That show's too much for me. It gets me emotional.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one either yet. A lot of people say I'll have to check that out as well.
It's gnarly, I guess. I don't know. I didn't watch more than the first season. It's crazy.
Now, when you're on set and everything, are you just kind of like, this is so surreal and all? Like, I can't believe I'm actually doing this because I've been working on an independent film recently here on Long Island. And like I'm like holding the camera and little things on the side. And I think it's a blast and it's so independent. Like there's no one in any sort of SAG or anything like that. But it's awesome to be a part of it. It's fun. I can only imagine on the level you're on.
Yeah, no, it is really fun, man. It's I don't know, man. It makes me grateful for the life I do have. Because there's it's Hollywood, there's a lot of fucking weird, fucked up shit, dude, and I'm very thankful for the life I have. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, dude, I spent my life fighting and got treated like shit by a lot of promoters and fans, just in general. It's a rough fucking sport. This is half as hard, bro, and I'm treated like royalty. It's insane. Like, they take care of you like you're a prince. Like, it's a different level, man. It's a different reality that they live in. Honestly, it's a trip.
That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny that you say that because promoters, they use you and throw you out.
Yeah, it's literally just a different reality. I mean, listening to some of the conversations between the actors and actresses, they're bitching that their laundry wasn't washed in time by the dry cleaners and shit. And I'm just like, I can't even fucking afford to drop all my shit off at the dry cleaners, bro. Like, damn. That's crazy.
That's insane. Oh, that's funny. Well, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you tackle some more shows and definitely check out the Kingdom that you're on when it comes to Netflix. Anything else you want to throw out there? Any like I know you said you've been enjoying your retirement, enjoying fatherhood. Anything else you want to throw out there?
I mean that's it, man. I've been enjoying life, dude. Working. I train here and there still just to stay in shape. Mm-hmm. I just fucked my ankle up though. I tore 2 ligaments in it. Ooh. And like a little freak accident. So I got to get surgery at the end of the year. But after that's all healed up, man, I'll get back to training. I might start doing like some jiu-jitsu type tournament stuff, because I'm still young, dude. And I feel good with this time off. Like it's weird. My body's gotten to finally heal. I've had so many bumps and bruises and injuries that I never let fully heal. Just pushing through training camps and shit. It's nice to really relax and I feel healthy again. So
absolutely.
So we may compete again someday, but
you come from a strong wrestling background, right?
Yeah, man. I spent my life wrestling since I was 4 years old. Wrestled, through high school, a little bit of college, and went to fighting a little quicker than I planned. But wrestling was my first love for sure, man. If I could wrestle professionally, like legit wrestling and get paid, I would have done that over fighting all day.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, wrestling's a great sport. Now, I got final question for you, or second to last question for you. Is MMA something that you would allow your daughter or son to participate in? Is this something you would encourage them to do, or is this something you want to steer them away from?
um, I mean, it's tough, man. If they wanted to, I would support it. You know, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna push them to it or anything. I'm gonna push wrestling. You know, like my youngest son, he's a little beast already, man. He's 10 months old, and this guy grabs a bar and like lifts himself up. He does a pull up, and I'm like, what the fuck? He's a little freak of nature. He's scary, bro. If you watch my story, man, he'll sit there and he'll just headbutt the door and just like all kinds of crazy like manly shit. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? So I'm gonna try and get him into wrestling, man. I'm gonna push wrestling for sure, just because it's a nice way into college, and I feel like it molds you as a young man and young lady, you know, young woman. But as far as fighting goes, man, I hope they kind of shy away from it. But you know, if the day comes where they say they want to, I got their back. I'll teach them everything I can.
Absolutely. And then to wrap it up, what's one thing about you that nobody knows but you would like to share with everyone?
Oh shit. I'm having another baby.
Oh shit! Congrats.
Yeah, well, why not, man? I'll announce it here. Yeah, we so I've got my 8-year-old daughter, a 6-year-old son, a 10-month-old son, and we just found out like 2 weeks ago we're having another baby. So we could share that right now for you.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the future from you. Always a pleasure to chat with you. Big fan. I know Eric Colwell's always a big fan of you as well.
Thank you, brother.
So best of luck, and looking forward to seeing you in the future on some more TV shows.